Got an interesting tweet come through a little bit before we were recording here, so we will discuss that. Let's talk about some Fanatic stuff as well. But Dustin, kick us off with some stuff going on over at Barstool.
Zombie Barstool, I guess, is what we call this. This is
yes.
between
the shell, the artist formerly known as Barstool or whatever.
We have this weird time when Barstool's not promoting their sports book. They're not involved with it anymore. They're still called Barstool Sportsbook, but we're waiting for it to become ESPN Bet. Anyway, Zombie Barstool Sportsbook is having some problems with some bets that were taken and graded on the Giants-Cardinals game. Apparently, a bunch of markets were left open after the outcomes were already known, and that's obviously a mess. This is in the industry known as a palpable error. We've seen lots of examples of this, but in the wake of this, lots of these bets were graded. People started trying to withdraw their money. Then Penn Entertainment, parent company of Barstool Sportsbook, started stopping those withdrawals, started suspending accounts, and now it's a giant mess. And we're still collecting information on exactly what this is, but it's been a while since we had a mess of this nature, I think, in the U.S. sports betting industry. And I think when you step back a little bit, this is when ESPN gets involved, this is kind of getting messy. What if the game's on ESPN and people are like live betting this and they're not getting their money, and like they see a palp and they don't understand it? It's it's one of those things where you step back and it's like ESPN's going to be, they're tied their name now to this sports book, and this is the kind of mistake that got made, and we have not seen, I don't think, anything of this magnitude on an NFL game in quite some time.
So Adam, I am always pro player. I'm pro better. I bet a ton myself, but the error thing has always been just ridiculously obvious to me as to where it's like, no, they didn't hang a bad line. And like you went in and you were able to hit a bad line, which by the way, even if you do that, it's kind of like, hey, what do you think? You think they're just going to let you come in and pick off bad lines and not like punish you in some way, shape or form. But this is just an actual true error, right? I mean, this is just something that should not happen. It didn't, basically you're sitting here taking advantage of a book for having an error. I get it. Like, I mean, I'm always pro player, except in these really and truly like egregious error things where it's like, what do you expect? I mean, like the market shouldn't have been up. Yes, we don't want technology to fail. Yes, we want the technology to be better to where we don't ever have to deal with this stuff. But I mean, it's just reality. Reality is there's going to be errors sometimes. And like the fact that you think you're deserved of this money that you're essentially getting for free because you already know the outcome, it just seems insane to me.
I think there are a few layers that we need to add to this as well, guys. Not only was this error found, this error was blasted out to a Discord. And the Discord received information to say, everybody go hammer this now.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference between I found a bad line and tried to take advantage of it to I amplified this to God only knows how many people and encourage them to go take advantage of it. And then, full well knowing that we were exposing something, I went and pulled that money out as quickly as I possibly could because I knew that I probably was going to have that bet go against me in the long run. And what we've heard from multiple regulators now, our Sam McQuillan's been following this story, who heard it in Massachusetts yesterday. We've basically heard it from a handful of states as well, is that regulators are going to allow Barstool to ultimately void out these bets. Some of the people involved are upset because they had their account suspended. Well, you're violating the terms of service. Like that's really not something that can be parsed out in some different way. If you get your money and you pull your money out and you got to keep your money, okay, great, because this is how these errors tend to work out. It tends to work out where the book will give you the option to say, look, here's the deal. You can keep your money, and we're never going to let you bet here again.
Yeah, we don't want your business. Yeah.
Or if you want to keep playing here, then we will come to another solution. And so I don't think there's anything wrong on either end. I think if the bettor wants to keep their money in that spot, they got their money out. They no longer have the money at the book. Okay. But if the sportsbook wants to respond by saying, you are not someone that we want here, then I think that's perfectly fair too.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm a guy that I've seen like bad lines get posted before. I've seen where they posted the wrong team favored and stuff on app. Like I'm the guy that like tells the sportsbook because I mean, what's the point, right? I mean, like you go in and like you said, Adam, sure, if you want to get your few dollars out of this and you understand that you're burning a relationship and torching an account, then fine. And if you want to wear that as a badge of honor, fine with that as well. But let's just be realistic about this. Like you're not owed the ability to bet on this sports book when you're the guy that's going to go in and exploit them on purpose, right? I mean, like, it's just it's insanity to me that like people want to jump up and down and go like, no, your computer failed, so I should be able to get free money from you. Like, no, what do you mean? No, that's not how it works. So anyway, this has always been cut and dry to me. I don't know why there's even an argument about it, like at all.
Yeah.
And Matt, just to add one layer to it, you talk about finding a bad line, right? You and I have lived this a couple of times, very famously, with the whole Danny Green incident, for anybody who's listened to us talk about this before. But we've found bad lines where we bet them, maybe we went and bet them a second time, and then they were taken down, right? Yeah. Because the sportsbook knew that the bad line had gone up in error. And the chance that I won the bet, which has happened, then I got to keep my money. I did not exploit them for some large amount of money. I just bet it a second time at the same stake that I would have bet it. And eventually they realized, oh, okay. And guess what? When I found an egregiously bad line, and I'm talking about a prop on a basketball player that should have been set at 11.5, that was set at 3.5 on points. And somehow it did not hit when that player hit a 3-pointer in the first minute of the game. Well, guess what? The book didn't come to me and say, hey, we feel really badly for you on that one and give you your money back. Like, it can work both ways.
I agree 100%.